Hey, everybody out there in Facebook land. I'm John. This is Pint of Comics. And I got Larry with me, Scary Larry, and Stu. And you know what we do? And you're probably going, hey, it's Nightmare on Elm Street time. No. And here's why. Larry has commitment issues.
I do.
And
if we say we're going to do something, God damn it.
I know. I'm the guy that
I don't care if it's been 7 months since the last one.
I was going to say, I'm the guy that so in September of 2020, we started with Friday the 13th part 1. And then we, hello, Holly. And then we moved through them.
Up. Has it been since over a year?
Yes.
No.
Yes,
John.
Listen, as a matter of fact, we're like a year from part 6 right now. We did a bunch in the first month, and then we kind of went a little bit slower. I get on, you get your memories. I get them on the Pint of Comics page. The first one was September. We did a bunch in October. Part 7 was probably around right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you meant it's been a year since the last time we did one.
No.
No, it's been over a year since we did the first one. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would have said we did it over the summer.
No. What's going on, Chris? So
I
yeah,
definitely said with it, we were like 6 months into this total.
I'm probably wrong on, but I think we finished Friday the 13th with the 2009 reboot in maybe May or June, because we did a couple the science fiction action ones after that, and then we were going to get into Nightmare. But Larry had said he wanted to do the fan films, and multiple times over the course of several months, I would go, why don't we just skip those and do Nightmare? And Larry's like, no, we got to do those. So finally, now here we are in November, almost Christmas time, and we're finally capping off Friday the 13th. Now, these are 2 of many fan films.
Get my phone.
Got your phone too. So Larry, real quick, why did you pick these 2 in particular? Because you said, let's do these 2.
Yeah. There's a bunch of fan films. I mean, listen, they haven't been allowed to make a fucking Friday the 13th is forever. I don't even know when the remake came out. Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham have been in legal battle for fucking ever, much to the chagrin of Eugene, because now his gaming has suffered.
The game is, you can't play the game anymore.
Yeah. But while that happened, fans picked up the mantle and were like, fuck it, we'll make our own Friday the 13th movies. And there's supposedly a ton of them, of which admittedly I have not seen a ton of them. I've seen a few. This is the one that Never Hike Alone is the one that got, I think, the most fanfare. I mean, I read about it on legit websites. I'm pretty sure it showed it Telluride Film Festival, which is a legit film festival. This got a lot of fanfare when it came out. And we'll get into whether or not it deserved it. But this is the one, when people are talking about Friday the 13th fan films, this is usually the one they bring up, is Never Hike Alone.
Never Hike Alone. All right. When was this thing made, Larry? I know you did me the favor and got the information on this one, because I just did not have time.
Yeah, this was released October 13th, which was a Friday, 2017. So this puppy is a little more than 4 years old now.
And we're talking about 2 tonight, right? We're talking about 2 different ones?
Yep, there's Never Hike Alone, which is almost feature length, 54 minutes.
Yep.
It gets there. And then there is Never Hike in the Snow, which came out last year, which is much shorter, like a half hour.
Yeah, it's 31, I think.
Yeah, and I think 10 minutes of it was credits.
Yeah,
because they had to thank all their Kickstarter backers or whatever crowdfunding platform they use. So it's literally just minutes and minutes of people's names. So I think it's probably closer to 20, actually, of actual movie. But yeah, Never Hike Alone was the first of them, and Never Hike in the Snow. And then apparently there's going to be a bunch more that we can
I
Never
saw
Hike
talk about.
Alone 2.
Yeah, Never Hike
Yeah,
Alone 2.
3, 4. There's
Yeah.
a whole bunch in the
And their
pipeline.
names are like Jason Takes Crystal Lake and
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
Well, why
stuff. I
not? He
forget.
took Manhattan. Might as well take his own home.
Now, Stu,
Right?
let me ask you a question, Stu, because in the last, like, I don't know, 15 years in pop culture, these fan films have gotten to be more and more kind of prevalent, and they're like a lot of them are pretty good. I mean, I don't watch a ton of them, but it's not like where back in the day you would think it's just some guy with a video camera, you know, and a shitty Jason mask. Now it's like almost feature quality. Are you a fan of these things? Do you go out because like you're a comic guy? There's 1,800 Batman ones. There's a million out there. Do you ever watch? Oh Jesus Christ! That is
Sorry. I'm ready now.
I'm ready now.
that is creepy as hell, Larry. I actually saw the pictures of you on Halloween in your overalls. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the rope around here somewhere too. Which the rope really ties the mask together. But
Literally.
yeah,
Now, did you wear the glasses underneath that all
yeah.
night long?
I spent all Halloween not being able to see, just wandering into parked cars on my surrounding streets.
Well, that's very much like Jason from Part 2. He was kind of inept. So you're walking in and start falling off chairs.
Yep.
So, Stu, are you a fan of these movies, of these type of films?
Yeah, I like the idea of them. I like whenever you can make them this good. I think the only Jason one I had seen before this is there is another really well made. It's Jason versus Michael Myers, and I don't remember what it's called, but there's a fan film with that is also pretty well made, has good production value. I think that's the only one I've actually sat through before.
All right, Never Hike in that Hood. Yeah, that's like Part 7.
Yeah.
That's like Leprechaun and all of them end up in the hood eventually.
And then the one after that is Never Hike in the Hood, and it's like in Bridgeport.
Right. And then of course they have to go to space because that's just the way it all works out.
Never hike in space.
Yeah, exactly.
Larry, do you know now the big thing with these things is right when you watch them, because this is available on YouTube. So if you've not seen it yet, after we're done talking, go and watch. I definitely suggest checking them out. At the very least, Never Hike Never Hike Alone. I definitely suggest Never Hike in the Snow. We'll talk about
Never Hike in the Nude.
Yeah, Never Hike in the Nude.
Yeah.
But right at the beginning, you get this big kind of like long like warning as to we don't own the rights to these characters. You know,
Yeah, you gotta
do that. But like, I guess I don't understand enough about law, but they still say Crystal Lake and Jason Voorhees. Like, I'm surprised that's all okay.
They're not selling it.
I was gonna say, as long as they're not making money from it, is it okay?
Yeah, there's
Because
no
the
profit
thing-
there.
The thing that I was thinking of is I watched the abridged series things on YouTube, like Yu-Gi-Oh! The abridged series, Dragon Ball Z, the abridged series, where they actually take the cartoon and just redub it with their voices and make it funny and jokes. And I know that, like, historically, some of those, depending on what property they have been abridging, those have gotten pulled from YouTube. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how this stuff works or doesn't.
Right. Yeah,
I think as long as you're not charging, as long as there's no, they're not selling DVDs, they're not trying to get it into movie theaters, they're not making merchandise.
But you said it went to a film festival, which is weird.
Free.
Still
free, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it just plays at these film festivals, and they did win awards with the movie, but that doesn't net them any money or anything.
And
like
they have
that.
to send the award to Sean Cunningham or Victor
Sean
Miller.
Cunningham. Yep.
Yeah.
And they get to go to court over who gets to have that award.
Sean
as well.
Cunningham that lives, funnily enough, on Cunningham Road. These things are chock. If you're a fan of these films, and obviously we're all fans to different degrees, and we did that, I think even more so maybe watching these closer to when we watched all the movies, I would have caught a lot more. But man, they really jam in a ton of little references, especially in that first one. Some of the things I noticed right off the bat, the paramedic's name was Axel, and that was the name of the morgue attendant, right? That was like watching the workout videos in Part 4. And we'll talk about a couple more of those there. Yeah, Paramount, you're right. Chris is right. Paramount does come down on Star Trek stuff. There's like these incredible rules that Paramount has made with the Star Trek stuff that is okay and not okay, even if it's for free. Like, I remember talking to Sir John about this one time, and our buddy Keith, because they're both big Star Trek guys. And Paramount has, like, you can do it, But like instead of like them saying make the Friday 13th things, just don't charge for it. Paramount's like you could do it for free, but you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, you can't talk about this at all. Axel's the Super Bowl of self-abuse. Yes, he truly was. He truly was. All right, so Larry, Never Hike Alone. Do we have an idea how this thing looked good? How much did this thing cost? Did you find that out?
I did. It took a bit. It wasn't easy to find sort of particulars about it, but from what I dug up, it cost $19,000 to make.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep. They found the director Vincenti. I'm not Italian. Vincenti DeSanti.
Yeah, I don't know.
Vincenti DeSanti. Let's just call him Mr. DeSanti.
Mr. D.
Yeah, Mr. D, the director, who is also the writer and also plays Jason.
Oh.
In the film, found an abandoned camp in San Bernardino, California, which is where they filmed it. So I guess they didn't need to rent a place or anything like that. I'd say the 19K went mainly to, regular production costs and some special effects, of which there weren't a ton, but there were some in the first one. I would have thought I would have seen a higher budget. I figured maybe they kickstarted or something to get that done, but apparently not. Apparently it looks like they did it on their own dime. Second one they kickstarted, but it looks like Never Hike Alone they did it on their own dime.
The second one certainly, despite being the shorter of the two, looks, and this is not a slight. It looks more professional.
Oh yeah.
But that's no slight to Hike Alone or Never Hike Alone, because I thought that was pretty good. I think the biggest maybe issue I had with it was, and I get why they did it, but it takes a while to get going. But
yeah,
as opposed to the actual movies where you have 8 different kids that can get killed, you got one guy. Yeah. That you have to like build the suspense up as to what's happening. Now,
and when you're building the suspense, see, I thought it was. First of all, I think this as a general rule. I usually shit all over like found footage and shaky cam, self cam stuff, but I thought this was done well. I like the idea of like what would you like a hiker vlogger type guy?
Yeah. He's a vlogger, yeah.
Plus, it's not all found footage. It's like you get some of the stuff
it mixes
through
it
his
in
camera,
well,
and then the rest of it is movie.
And I like. So now you tell me somebody does like, I guess he's like a professional. I don't know if there's a professionalism to this, but I guess he's like a pro adventurer, whatever. So you tell me somebody does shit like this, they're running up fucking mountains. You're building the fact that this guy is in shape and sort of tough and kind of a bad. This is not some 17-year-old virgin first time camp counselor. Like you're pitting it as, he's going to go up against Jason and he's probably going to fucking lose, but he's going to give him a fight. So I thought the buildup was good. And even with the part with the coyotes, when he's in his tent, he sets up his tent. There's a shitload of coyotes chasing and killing something out there. And he's just like, I'll go to sleep. Like me, I would have shit inside of my tent and then ran away naked, covered in my own shit.
Yeah,
like,
when you hear the coyote like dying, like when you hear that, like I would have been like, you know what, this might not be for me. But he's
so this is a tough kid. This is a tough kid.
Yeah, and he looks like the guy from Sons of Anarchy. He clearly wants to be Charlie Hunnam.
Okay. All right. I thought they did a good. I know it was a little long, the setup, but it had to be if you only have 2 people. One of them is Jason. You know what I mean? Until you get to the very end.
Yeah. Did any of us? And you know what the sad part is like the guy's not a professional actor, but he holds his own, being the only person in the movie. The acting really like hits the fucking wall when it gets to the end, and you get introduced to you get introduced like the paramedic characters. You're like, man, this guy now looks like fucking Sir Laurence Olivier compared to like the female.
The very first line of dialogue that the female paramedic gives, I was just like, oh, this is different.
Yeah, it was
a different caliber entirely.
Yeah.
It's like the director found a friend who's like an actual actor and got him to be in this, and then realized towards the end, fuck, we need a couple paramedics. Let me ask my sister.
Yeah.
Who has never done anything other than anything. Like she's just like, hey, are you Okay. Oh God.
Just remain still. Your wounds are superficial. You'll be okay. Axel, stop jerking off and help me with this. Put away that 1983 Playboy. and then he starts, and you're like, oh fuck, the Glimmer twins here. These two are both fucking terrible.
Yeah.
What is the what's the main character's name? Is it Kyle? He looked like a Kyle.
He is a Kyle, right?
Yeah, I think it's Kyle.
I think he is. Yes, Kyle
I
McLeod.
remember.
Kyle McLeod. So
I don't know if they
Kyle,
mentioned his last name in the film at all, but according to this, his last name is McLeod.
Of the Clan McLeod.
Oh yes, absolutely.
well, Eric has a question that I was going to bring up later on. Is anyone going to the Roseblood premiere in Brantford? Larry is, right?
What? Hold on. Here we go. I maybe we'll see. I've got some family shit to do that day earlier, so if I do go, it'll be later on in time for the premiere. But I'm not sure.
Roseblood is a local guy, Peter Anthony. So very much like these two movies are heavily tied into the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. I guess you could say. Roseblood is like a direct sequel to Seven. And it actually has what's her name, Lar Park Lincoln, and somehow Terry Kaiser. I think his head got pulled off in that last movie, but he's going to be in it. And Weekend at Bernie's 3. And yeah, they're having a premiere this week on Sunday in Brantford. So check that out. Go to I assume just maybe go to look up Roseblood on Facebook probably. And,
you can find it. I think it might be sold out, but it doesn't hurt to look for it.
And there's a con involved too. Like you can go to a con beforehand.
He's got the stars of the movie, which, as you said, are 3 members of Friday the 13th Part 7. Plus the other people are going to be there, and he's got some vendors going to be there selling some stuff. So it's like a whole day event.
That's right. Kaiser got gutted by the gas-powered trimmer in the last one. That's right.
But he lived. But he lived.
He lived.
Here he is in Roseblood.
It was just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
So Kyle is a vlogger. He's a outdoorsman, a hiker, and he basically takes people along on his hikes. And that's how this movie starts. Is he basically pulls up, gets out of his, I'm assuming, Subaru, and takes his keys and he just, like anybody would, like Stu does on a regular Sunday, just runs into the wood for 18 miles, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it was more like 45 to get to the side of a lake he wanted to get to or something.
He was big time on getting to the south side of the lake. Yeah.
Important to note for those who haven't seen it, he didn't know where he was. He had just seen a lake in his travel book, adventure book, some kind of Dungeons and Dragons book he had. I don't know what it was.
It's a trail guide. Dungeons and Dragons.
What do you call these things? I don't know. He's got some sort of guide that tells him like of uncharted lands, and so he wanted to go explore this wilderness. And when he gets there, he sees that it's rope. It was right when he gets there, he sees that it's roped off. Right, it says no trespassing.
No trespassing. Yeah, and he looks at his little camera and he's like,
yeah, I'll be there in. It's 45 miles. I'll be there in 6 minutes. Yeah. So
I always laugh when people in movies and TV shows say things that they're so confident about direction, because I'm terrible with direction. He's like, I wouldn't recommend going past here. But if I go around here, I could save about 12 miles on back. How the fuck do you know that? How do you know that? I wouldn't know that. I can't even read a compass.
I have no idea. And even if you tell me, hey, this way is west, that does nothing for me.
West. So in X amount of time, I'll be in California.
Point towards the gas station. I'll go that way. Don't west north me. I know.
I'll watch Cops, and I get it that a cop has to know these things, but the cop will be like, yeah, he was heading west on Opal Street. I'm like, what is that west? Are you sure that's west?
He passed the brown house on the right.
I like whenever you turn on your navigation and your car's not moving yet, and the navigation doesn't know which way your car's facing, and it's like, head east on this route, and it's like, I got to try better than that. I don't know what that means.
I just go and hopefully it'll fucking figure it out, because I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Who do you think
I'm just gonna go this way.
You think I am Aragorn? I don't fucking know what east is. I'm not a fucking. I'm not a forest.
I'm not like I'm gonna get out of my car and look for the sun and be like, what time of day is it?
Yeah.
I'm not a
Hold on.
forest
Let me get-
ranger.
What time is it? Let me get my sundial out. Get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, that part where he says that, I would never suggest, and you get the sense too, because you get to about probably 10 minutes into the movie before you realize, I mean, we know Jason's there, but like before they start showing you Jason watching him, and you kind of get the feeling that Jason is only watching him until he crosses that line, which I thought was maybe I just felt that way, but like I'm just thinking Jason kills anybody that goes in the woods, but it seemed like he was particularly not touching him until he crossed over the line. Once he crosses over the line, there's that one scene I thought was really well done where he's like kneeling down and Jason like is literally standing next to him. And Jason's greatest disappearance of all time is he just literally turns his head and he's gone. Like, where the fuck did he go?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that one was a little much.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. It was kind of crazy. Like
we're full on with the Jason Takes Manhattan where he just fully teleports at this point in time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of liked the setup of this. I thought it was, you know what it was? It wasn't derivative. It wasn't the same old shit. It wasn't, hey, there's a new group of counselors to take over the new camp next door, and or there's a new mom and family in the cabin next door. It wasn't the same. He actually had an original idea. Is it a good enough idea to stretch into a 90-minute movie? Probably not without sprinkling in a couple more characters. But I did like it. I thought it was different and it was interesting.
Now, DP here says technically Jason is some sort of ghost in this. As we discussed on the show in length, up until about part 5, Jason is a person, and then from part 6 on, he's some kind of ghoul.
Mummy, were told.
He's a mummy of sorts. But then
we didn't like zombie. Somebody didn't like zombie. We had to call him a mummy.
Right.
Now,
I think that was Eve. I think Eve
didn't like zombie. Yeah, she didn't like zombie. I didn't see the ghost cut, but I don't catch him being a ghost in this. But there's a longer cut.
Holly watched the ghost cut today.
So Holly
cut
is in the ghost cut. Do they just say he's a ghost? And Patrick yet again is coming straight out and saying mummy. Patrick was pro mummy the last time, for sure.
In the ghost cut, they take out all the and he just goes woo. We're ghosts.
I hate the idea of Ghost Jason. I don't like this at all.
And this comes from Stu, who's got the multiple Jason theory.
Yeah, I don't like this one. This is not a good multiple Jason theory.
So yeah, I actually agree with you, Larry, quite a bit. Stu, do you like the idea of now again, this is a fan film, this is years later, but instead of someone just making another, like Larry said, okay, we're just gonna have, they could have done a fan film, and I'm sure there are ones. Okay, we're just going back to like it's 1985 and it's a new group of kids, a new group of teenagers. But this is like taking, like Larry said, kind of the newer elements of found footage and that idea and making it almost like a ghost ship type movie where this guy finds Crystal Lake, which is what he finds. Do you like the idea of that?
It's like Larry said, it's an idea. It's a new idea. We'll get into later what I personally think of these movies. And I actually have pretty stark opinions from one to the other. But I mean, it's an idea. Like you said, it's something new to do. I'll be completely honest. I have, as of late, been railing against Ghostbusters Afterlife because that movie is hot garbage. Because it's just Ghostbusters 1. They took no risks. They took no chances. They just remade Ghostbusters 1. And like, that's, I'd rather you swing for the fences and miss than fucking lay down a bunt. And that's what Ghostbusters Afterlife is they just fucking bunted. Like, so it's
like that first new Star Wars with
Force
Harrison
Awakens.
Ford.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. Except even more, like it's the Force Awakens. If in the Force Awakens they literally fought Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader and blew up a Death Star by shooting it in the exhaust port, like it's that much the exact same. But I mean, yeah, this is different, man. They swung for the fences. They said this is what people expect to see in a Jason, but this is what we're going to give them, and I respect that. I respect coming up with your own idea and doing it different.
Totally.
Now, Holly
even
says,
if it, like you said, even if it misses, at least you did something. At least you did something new. You did something different. I respect that. I'll always respect that.
Holly says the Ghost Cut has an intro then starts with Never Hike in the Snow, which I did read was supposed to be a prequel to this.
And I didn't realize that until today, actually.
Yeah, I read that, but like, there's a character that makes no sense.
That makes no sense if true. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
We'll get there.
And then ends with Never Hike Alone. Okay, all right.
So it's basically just a mashup of the Never Hike in the Snow and Never Hike Alone and some the Rise of Venkman. Jesus Christ! And they did some other like 5-minute short music video apparently that that also explains some additional stuff that I didn't watch. I don't know.
Music video furthers the plot.
I don't.
It's actually
they're attacking all medium now. They're sending text messages with little random bits of plot information.
Someone knocks on your door while you're watching TV one night. You go to the door, and it's just a guy with like a fucking Federal Express package.
Yep.
Says, "This is for you, sir." And you open it, and it's just a handwritten letter from the director saying, "Do you remember that scene in Never Hike Alone where this is what it meant?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
I found out something earlier tonight when I got my Chinese food. I opened the fortune cookie, and there was a little bit more information about the plot. And I was like, "Shit."
You open the fortune cookie and it just says Jason was a ghost.
Jason was in capitals.
Yeah. It was like a sheet ghost, but with a hockey mask on it. That's how I knew.
Jason was the friends we made along the way.
That's right. Jason was the friends we made along the way. So he's going around, and Jason's kind of following him, lurking. Yeah, he's totally lurking. Now this, Stu, multiple Jason theory aside, I personally have a pick for what Jason this one seemed to me to be. This seemed to me to be based on part 3 Jason. The clothes look the same. Am I right about that? Is that who you would pin this to be?
I think this is part 3 or part 4 because he's not all mangled around the side. Like the mask he's wearing around the sides of his head, it just looks like a human, but like covered black. It's not like, corpsey looking. But I noticed that a lot.
It's got no axe.
It's got no axe.
So no axe.
But
no red
triangles.
But there's kind of a reason for that that's shown in Never Hike in the Snow.
Yeah, there was
a dumb reason.
Yeah, there was like a couple masks, so I guess he changes based on his clothing for the day. I do the same. I've got a bunch of shoes and glasses, and I kind of coordinate them. So
why
I
wouldn't
guess
Jason change outfits?
Sure.
Right,
I had a hard time, and we've talked about this throughout the 14 other Friday the 13th movies we've discussed. I have a problem figuring out where to fit things in. So if I had a major problem with this, is me sitting there trying to figure out what's canon and what's not. What's
for this?
Right.
In this
Did
universe.
he come from space and now this is where this is? Like,
well, I think because this is a fan thing, it's almost like you've got.
I want to know.
Choose.
Like we wanted to know. Like we wanted to know the whole layout of Crystal Lake and its surrounding states.
Yeah,
we wanted that information.
Well,
Patrick is supposed to be working on the map, right?
Patrick's been working on that for about a year now.
He has to add to that map the one island in the middle that has one tree.
Okay,
because we didn't know that island was there.
No, okay, perfect.
It's in San Bernardino.
I thought that. I get that you're not going to find a place that looks exactly like whatever Friday the 13th. And let's be honest, it was different in every movie, so it never looked the same. But when he sees the lake and there's that little island with a tree on it, I went, that was never in any of the fucking movies. Like, that was never.
I don't know why that bothered me so much, too.
I was right there.
I was
like, there was never a little oasis in the middle of the fucking lake.
Ever. You're upset by the oasis, but not by where this fits into the grand scheme.
Eric's correct. It's all explained in the Snyder Cut. And actually,
so there's going to be a 4-hour Never Hike Alone.
And I suggest
all Jason's kills are in slow motion.
I suggest you don't watch it right away, though, because a black and white version will be coming out as well very, very shortly thereafter. So he finally does. He finds Crystal Lake. And Holly said something. I'm not going to go back and find it. But she said something that just, like, I didn't get at all. Is that he keeps seeing these ribbons everywhere. Oh, no, I get that. But well, I got the ribbons, but she's saying that was markers for all the deaths in the first couple movies.
Yeah, those were
certainly didn't get that.
Yeah, They
Yeah,
were all
because
there.
remember, which one was it where I think it was part 2 where the guy is like in the bear trap in the tree upside down and Jason comes and cuts his throat.
Yeah,
That's the marker that I first saw and was like, oh, that was that kill in particular. Okay.
Remember he found the bed where the two were killed.
I did.
There's
I
a
said
red
to myself,
marker.
that's the Kevin Bacon bed, right? Or the
Yeah, or
the
one of the
as we found out the underage girl from part 2
yeah,
and her boyfriend
probably
was
hers.
because there was two
a lot
identical,
of blood, so
a
probably
lot of
hers.
blood.
But yeah, I thought that was super clever. Actually, I thought that was. I thought, yeah, and the beach. Holly's right. That there was a red tag out there where Pamela was killed.
Yeah, I live in Crystal Lake formed due to global warming. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they lost. They lost some water.
The water went down. It was always there. It was always there.
Yeah,
Eventually,
water table lowered.
Jason. That's where Jason came from in this one. Was the lake went down enough that his chained up body just came out of the water one day. He was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck it, I'm okay now. I'm good."
The other I thought, and again, you're shooting this for $19,000. You found a free abandoned camp to use. I get it. I can't knock it too much, but I was like, these cabins do not look 40 years abandoned at
No,
all.
some of the board games on the shelf were way newer than what it would have been. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was like a fucking a Nintendo what do you call that? A Nintendo fucking Switch sitting there.
Yeah. There was like an Oculus Quest box. Yeah, I was like, these places look kind of nice. I think you should just move in there. Actually, like,
It's
but,
the oil slick from Creepshow 2 all dried out. Yeah.
oh man. Yeah, no, I mean, I listen. I'm always going to have problems with continuity. That's a big thing for me. So trying to figure out why his mask is all jacked up, why there's no triangles, red or blue, depending on where we are in the
There does appear.
timeline.
Do you notice the F? There appears to be an F.
Mhm.
It's a scratch, but it looks like an F on the cheek there. Maybe
Yeah,
that's their
from
new
Freddy.
thing. There.
Maybe it's
from
from
Freddy. That could
Freddy
be.
did it.
From
That
Freddy.
could be.
He's like, here, son of a bitch.
You'll
Something to
remember me.
by.
Yeah. Rawr.
Dickhead.
I don't know why
I like
Freddy's
in Larry's headcanon Freddy is a pirate,
Yeah,
apparently.
Freddy. Our matey. And I also liked when Kyle and Jason finally connect, when they finally come together, in the door to nowhere, right, which was a strange
Yeah.
scene, but
I love the fact that Kyle knows about the door to nowhere and its use, but he doesn't know where the fuck he is. He doesn't know that from his guide. He knows
Yeah.
he's going to Crystal Lake, but he doesn't put the story together till he's there. Yeah,
no, at this point he's already figured it out. He's already
No, he-
figured out where he is.
No, but like you said, he doesn't know when he's on his way there. You would
Right.
think he would
Oh,
go,
right.
"Oh, I'm heading to Crystal Lake. That's that fucking place where blah blah blah." But he knows about fucking second story doors with no ladders.
So Jason wraps him like in a blanket and just tosses him out the fucking door. And then did you notice, maybe it was just me and wishful thinking, really seemed like Jason did a superhero landing when he jumped out that fucking door.
Yeah, he
Like
Yeah.
fucking punched the fucking
Yeah.
ground, landed one knee. Like, I was like, holy shit, he Captain America'd out that fucking door. Like,
He did.
I
Well,
was cool with it. I was like, all right.
the other thing I noticed about this movie, and I get it, it's only one character. You've got to make him last at least an hour before he either gets killed or doesn't.
Yeah.
So you said he's formidable, right? Like that's one of the things I like.
like.
That's one of the things I liked about this movie is that
Yeah.
every time him and Jason tangle, he holds his own. He learns from his mistakes. He punches him in the face. He doesn't do it again.
Don't do that.
But I
Yeah.
did notice,
Ah.
that could take a puck at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Your fist is no puck.
Yeah, that was like when Alex Rodriguez was punching Jason Veritek in the catcher's mask in that
Yeah.
fight. Don't punch a guy in a catcher's mask. Or when you see like the NFL players punching each other in the helmet. What are you guys
Yeah.
doing? What are you
Yeah.
guys doing?
Football fights are the worst. You guys are walking tanks with armor on. There's nothing going to
Yeah.
happen from a slap.
No.
But one of the things I was going to say was something I noticed heavily was, did you guys notice that there were several times that Jason could have taken a kill shot and he didn't? Like I noticed that a few times.
To
Like,
hesitate.
he hesitated because they were trying to make it go longer, I think. But there was a couple times like where Kyle would swing and he would be like towards the ground and Jason could easily just get him with the machete, but it would take a little bit longer to lift the machete. I get it. They were padding it out, but it
Plot
just seemed
armor.
like plot armor because in the older movies, he would just chop him in half. There would be
Yeah,
no
because
fight,
he had
you
8
know?
more to go kill after Kyle, but in this movie
Right.
he just had Kyle.
This
He
might
had
be the first fucking, cat and mouse. This might be the first person he's had in fucking years.
he's got to
Yeah.
play with his food.
Again, continuity. I don't know where we are. I don't know. I don't know if this is 30 years after. I don't know where we are.
So this is almost the equivalent, what you're saying, of Batman in Dark Knight Rises versus Bane, where he had no chance because
Jason went to the doctor and the doctor's like, "You have no cartilage in your knee, Jason."
Yeah.
you have no cartilage in your knee. You're only 30 years old and you've been dead half of your life.
Right. Right. And then he found Catwoman and everything was good.
I was wondering what would break first.
Dude,
mind?
now all I want is a fan film of Jason versus Bane. We have to make this movie.
Crystal Lake is your home? I was born in it, molded by it.
Theatricality and deception. Don't forget, we are both in the League of Shadows. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, you know what? Headcanon. Maybe Kyle went to that boys' retreat Kevin Bacon led in Whitewater Summer. Boy, I'll tell you, Whitewater Summer was a tough one for me as a kid because, like, you like Kevin Bacon the first time you meet him in Footloose, and then you see Whitewater Summer, and it's Mikey from the Goonies. It's what's his name, Aston, and Kevin Bacon is. Have you ever seen that movie, Lair?
Oh,
Kevin Bacon is such an asshole in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a nut. You got to watch that movie, Stu. I don't know if it
Have you
holds
never
up.
seen it, Stu?
No, I've never even heard of this movie.
It's-
Whitewater Summer.
It's creepy. It's good. It's
is it a horror movie?
No, it's Sean Astin plays like it's like right after Goonies, so he's maybe at like 15 or so.
Oh,
And
really?
he actually hits puberty on camera, and I think it's because the movie took a long time to film. They had to come back to it at one point. But Kevin Bacon plays like this wilderness retreat leader, but he's obviously younger. He's like in his 20s. But he's a fucking bastard. He's a total shit bastard. And Eric is totally right. Kevin Bacon in Sleepers was fucking the worst. He was the absolute worst.
Wasn't he a bad guy in the Invisible Man remake from like
Yeah.
2000?
Yeah,
What was that called?
He's been Hollow Man. He's been a
Invisible-
bad guy.
Hollow Man.
He was also
been a bad guy quite a
fucking with Magneto. That he was one of the fucking
Oh,
Nazis.
Sebastian Shaw. In
Yeah,
Sebastian
Sebastian
Shaw.
I couldn't fucking think of the name. Goddamn
That's right.
Hellfire Club. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, he's played a lot of bad guys in his career.
Yeah,
But
I think-
that might have been the first Whitewater Summer or whatever the fuck it is. Might have been his first heel turn.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
now aren't you bummed you didn't invite me onto that wrestling fucking show you guys did the other night? I know what a heel turn is. Sean McLaughlin taught me. I know.
John, explain work rate.
I don't want to. It's your pinfall win percentage times your likability times the amount that you sell at the gate divided by how many people in the audience are drunk times Hulk Hogan fans. I don't know. Okay, you're right, Pat. He was a jerk in Animal House.
So shit, now we need to make a record of Kevin Bacon as a good guy versus Kevin Bacon as a bad guy.
Actually, Joe's right too. Kevin Bacon's dong was a bad guy in Wild Things. He's been a bad guy quite a bit. I might have to take that back and say that he's done it a lot in the last several years. Even in R.I.P.D., he was a bad guy, which I know is a bad movie, but
I don't even remember him in that.
he was the villain in that one. He was he was the bad guy. R.I.P.D.
I don't know what that
It
is.
tanked. It
That's
was
Ryan Reynolds and
Jeff
what's
Bridges.
his name? Yeah,
It's Men in Black, but instead of aliens, it's dead people.
dead people.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's not good.
it's not
Okay.
great. It's not great. So they go at it. He throws him out that door. He doesn't break his leg as hard as I would have thought he would have.
I thought you were going to say as I would have liked him to. Like,
That
I
is
want to see bone splinters. Damn it!
That is
I want to see him Joe Theismann that leg.
yeah, I thought, but that's exactly what I thought we were going to see. I thought he was going to rip open those jeans and we were going to see a compound fracture. That's what
Yeah.
No, we got a laceration. And then
he sewed himself. Rocky
sewed
style,
himself.
Rocky or Rambo, some Sylvester Stallone character.
Cobra, whatever.
And he
Imagine
tweezers
imagine
out
Rocky
some wood.
stitching himself in the corner. I got it, Nick. I got it.
Well, it's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie is the fact that like he has to like stitch himself up, but he has no way to do it, and he does it under a tablecloth with Jason walking around him. I thought, man, this guy's hardcore. This guy is he's pouring the little saline on there. He's stitching himself up. So multiple times he seems to be waiting for Dawn to get away. Jason's just like patrolling, right? He's like patrolling around.
He's at one point he's like, I can't go back without my gear, and it's like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Go
I'm like,
now.
yes, you can.
Yeah, I'm not gonna risk my life for a sleeping bag. I don't give a fuck how cool it is. Like,
I have to
and you don't even
that
even
shovel.
like the shovel. He didn't even like the shovel. He was like, piece of shit. Like, fucking leave. What do you mean you need your gear? Unless were his car keys in there? Maybe his car keys were in there. I don't know.
Oh, the movie never said that I remember, but maybe.
I don't remember.
No, but I'm fairly certain the movie said he hiked 18 miles to get where he got. I think that's what they said. So, I mean, I got to be honest. If I've got to go 18 miles to get to my car, I'm just going to go 10 more miles past that to get away from this whole thing. I don't care about the gear. Like, you're right. He's like, I can't go anywhere without the gear. I think that was partially another plot armor for him to put the book inside of his jacket, which ends up, saving him later on in the movie. Or as Larry said, his Dungeons and Dragons guide fits snugly in there. So what happened, Larry? What happens after that? He gets chased by Jason again, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of he gets chased by Jason moments. Like it's only the two of them.
50 minutes of him getting chased by Jason.
Yeah, he chases. He throws a punch to Jason's midsection. Jason punches him back. He flies across the fucking woods, hits a tree, runs around for a little bit more, catches up with him again, punches Jason in the fucking leg. Jason punches him in the face, flies into a fucking tree. This happens like several times.
Yeah, they have multiple matchups. And Eric brings up a part. I actually like this a bit where, did you get to the part where you have the flying dream Jason camera angle? Is that where he's like walking through the woods chasing him? And it's like, guys know what I'm talking about? When he's getting away from him the first time, there's a camera angle of Jason walking towards the camera, but it's like hyper. He's like moving kind of strange. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I
don't remember this.
Yeah.
Okay. It was very cool. And they only did it once. I'm not a cameraman, so I can't describe what it was. He says flying dream. That's kind of a good way to say it. It looked different than everything else in the movie, and they never went back to that style at all.
Interesting. I must have blocked it out. Or was taking a sip of my hot chocolate at that time.
Bonnie does say he was worried about infection. He did say that. And making his parents sad. He's like, I can't let this get infected. No, you can't let that dude catch you and cut your head off. That's what you got to worry about right now. Get to your car.
Yep.
So let's get to how this thing pretty much wraps up. You're right, Eric. It was a really cool camera angle. I don't know how these two fucking guys don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember at all. I'll tell you what I do remember when we talk about the next confrontation they have. That for all this movie does good, the one terrible special effect it seems to have.
Which was this the
when they simultaneously stabbed each other and they both fell down and it just looked like two mannequins going like.
Oh, you didn't like that? I didn't mind
really
it.
Bad.
That was the Rocky 2 moment. Moment.
They just didn't look. They weren't falling like human beings. They were falling like big stiff pylons that just didn't have ligaments.
I thought it worked. I remember when I first watched it, it fooled me. I didn't realize he'd gotten Jason too. I thought Jason just stabbed him in the gut. And then I couldn't figure out why Jason was spitting chocolate pudding out of his mask.
That was actually the coolest part, I thought, was is that you don't know that Jason got him, but you don't realize he got Jason. He gets the axe into Jason's neck, but the way they visualize it by the geyser of blood coming out of the holes in the hockey mask, I think I was so fixated on that I didn't notice the way they fell. But of course,
he was right. They did in sync fall backwards at the same time.
And they didn't like collapse. Yeah, they just went straight back.
They
like
straight back.
No part of their body bends. I don't know. I thought it looked bad.
I was confused. I was confused at what they were trying to say about the stab in the book. Because usually in like a movie like this, the stab, if the book stopped it, it would have like gone to the last page and he would have pulled it out and you know what I mean? But in this, it seems like the book didn't really save him because it still went in him, right? Like
it just slowed it down substantially.
It slowed it, that would have gone like all the way through him.
Yeah.
But the book definitely, his Dungeon Master's Guide slowed it down.
9th level paladin.
It acted as a gelatinous cube and absorbed the machete.
I love it was a +4 book. So.
+4. Yeah.
Yeah.
+4 against undead.
All right,
Yep.
I need you to re-roll your D20 times.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the average of that, and that'll be how many hit points you lose.
Right.
So
Right. So then he goes. They're both stabbed. Yeah, I wish, I know it was cool that he used Jason's axe. I wish it was the fucking shovel he didn't like.
Yeah,
Right? Because he was talking shit about that shovel. It would have been a cool
the movie
little thing
seemed
because
like it
the
was
shovel
building to
doubled as
that.
an axe. Remember, he was chopping wood with
Yeah.
it earlier. So it would have been a cool, fuck you to him if he had used that and, got away that way. So what I thought, I think it was Eric who said about the floating Jason scene. What I thought he was talking about was the dream sequence when he was laying down by the beach and Jason jumps out of the water, but he
Well-
was actually just feverish and
that's like we talked about before, the callback factor, like right there.
yeah.
Where the callback factor to the other movies is, what did we get to, like part 5 before they stopped doing that shit, where you couldn't tell where it ended, and then of
Yeah.
course there was someone in a lake with their hand in the water,
Or
you
at least
know.
some bubbles. Or at least some
Yeah.
bubbles.
some bubbles, and in this
Yeah.
one, he's kind of squatting in front of the water, and then Jason comes out of the fucking lake and pulls him in. He wakes up again, and he wakes up to
as
the
a
true nightmare.
callback to our wrestling show on Friday, he gives Kyle the old crush on the head.
He does, yeah. He crushes
Yeah.
his head, and then Kyle wakes up. But now the nightmare isn't like Jason crushing his head; it's the girl playing the paramedics acting. Like now he's in over his head with this girl because
Don't worry, you are okay.
it will be fine. I promise you. Me and my partner, who's over there masturbating, will help you. And don't worry, we've got a surprise cameo coming right up. It's weird, trust me.
You're gonna feel real bad when you see how old this guy looks.
Time has not been kind.
Oh.
So they're in the van. He wakes up. He's strapped down. They got him strapped down, and they're explaining to him poorly that he's going to be okay.
Well, not at first. At first, he's not. But then he starts freaking out.
because he
Right.
sees Jason. Yeah.
Yeah, he sees Jason.
And then they fucking put the seatbelts on him.
So Larry, who shows up at the back door and opens up, and you find out is the third member of this paramedic squad?
Jesus.
Well, we have our good friend, Tommy Jarvis, played by none other than Tom Matthews, who played him in part 6.
The garbage one. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, part 6 is bad. But Tom Matthews of Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2 fame, which is what we really appreciate him for. But it is good.
One certainly.
I like 2. I know
Two's
people.
fine. Two's fun. Yeah.
People shit upon 2, and I get it, but I still find 2 to be fun. I just always liked how they did the same characters, but like new again. Like I always thought that was kind of
yeah.
cool.
Holly, I would have preferred Feldman only if he had his angels with him, his angels, and that long hair that goes all the way down to his knee. That's the only way I would have wanted to see him.
Love.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been
Yeah,
great.
she asked me that today, and I think I would have liked to see. I don't know. I love Tom Matthews. Would Feldman have been cool though? I think it
would have been pretty cool.
Would it have taken you out of it to see Feldman?
The budget would have gone up substantially.
It would-
Yeah, he doesn't.
would've.
He wouldn't have been there cheap. There's no doubt about it. But would it take you out? Is it like? Would Feldman have been like too much of a distraction? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
because I think you're supposed to pop at it for who it is anyway. If you're gonna pop for Tom Matthews, you might as well pop for Corey Feldman.
Do you think it's weird?
We're using more wrestling language.
Pop, yeah.
now. I knew that one too. Imagine
Just
if you
my
had me on that
day-to-day
show.
lingo. I don't even.
Tom Matthews' work rate in this was pretty substantial. Do you guys think it's kind of weird that?
I think the last 5 minutes are all very weird. But
Yeah.
okay.
Do you think it's weird that, like, I mean, I get it. I get that Tom Matthews has to pay the bills, and I'm sure they paid him and everything. But like, it seems like we talked about Roseblood and the fact that these people are in it. Do you think it's a little weird when these people that were in the actual canonical thing show up in these
fan film?
Yeah, because that's a big thing in the Star Trek one too. Like some of the people from those shows and movies pop up in the fan films.
I didn't know there. There's Star Trek. I didn't. Oh, that's right. Somebody said it earlier. I didn't even know there was.
Somebody, John said that there
I did.
were.
I said that was me. Hi, I'm John. I'll be your host this evening on Pint Comics.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Good
you
morning.
too. Hi, Larry. It's nice to
Hi.
see you.
Yes.
You've got on a nice orange shirt today. It's divine. Yeah,
Yes,
it's divine.
it's so divine to be here. Yeah, no, I didn't know there were Star Trek fan films, but
Do you
so I
think
didn't
it's
know that
odd?
was a thing.
Do you think it's odd for the stars to pop up in these things?
I would, and I'm not trying to sound douchey at all. I hope it doesn't sound that way. I wonder. They got to work,
Yeah.
right? I'm assuming the budget's 19 grand. I'm assuming they had to give a couple grand to Tom Matthews to come out and fucking do this.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know what? If he's going to be at a convention, he's going to get paid a couple grand.
Yeah.
So
That's
why
the
why
thing
the
to
fuck
me.
wouldn't
Like,
he?
if they're on the convention circuit, how is this any worse than doing that? Like,
Why-
look how
why-
well this movie is made. This movie may have been cheap. It may have just been released on YouTube, but it looks good. There's good.
You think he's going to
production
sit there
value.
and say, "Well, I don't want to really ruin Part 6 for people," as if Part 6 is a good movie?
Stop.
Garbage.
You know,
Stop it, both of you.
1.25. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think, there's that. Like, I would think it was weird if I saw like Mark Hamill show up in a Star Wars fan film that wasn't a fan film like made by fucking Judd Apatow or something. Like, you know what I mean? I think somebody of that caliber would surprise me. Like, if
Right.
10 years from now somebody did a fucking Deadpool fan film and Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool in it, I think I would be like, that's fucking bizarre. Because
Although
this
we're
guy's
getting-
super rich.
We're getting to the point where if you make a Deadpool fan film, you can probably get Gina Carano.
And you could probably get it out before the next Deadpool. So there's that too, which is completely possible. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. I get both sides of the, I get that you would be like, huh, that's weird that a name actor from the actual film would do a fan film. But then again, guy's working, and they're going to pay him a couple bucks. Why wouldn't he do a role that's familiar and comfortable to him?
And how much work do you think Tom Matthews did for this fan film? Like one day
He was there
of
for
shooting?
a day. He was not there for more than a day. There's no fucking parts.
Yeah, no.
Like you
Yeah.
he was not there for more than, I don't know how many days they shot. Maybe this was a couple weeks worth of shooting, but there was one day set aside for Matthews to be there, and that's just how that works. I'll tell you, I've had experience on sets with name actors, and when you have a name actor in your independent film, you get him for one day. You got to get everything you done in that one day that you can. So yeah, he was there for one day. They flew him out. They put him in a fucking hotel, gave him food, and paid him a couple grand. Why wouldn't he?
So Joe, who's manning the Pint Comics board today, says Part 6 doesn't like you either. He's very Stu centric. They have the same hive mind when it comes to Part 6.
Oh, interesting.
Not being a piece of shit movie. Holly says I have a continuity problem with the Jarvis scene. I have a continuity problem with all the Tommy Jarvis stuff going from one movie to the next.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Especially if Hike in the Snow is supposed to be first, it makes no sense with Tommy Jarvis.
So let me ask you another thing I have with this
You
movie.
defaced a police car. Now go become a paramedic.
I get that that's a call out moment for real Friday the 13th fans is when you see him. And I get I recognize him just because I know who he is and we did those movies not too long ago. People that aren't huge fans are not going to recognize who it is. But why do you spell out his whole name on his uniform? Have you ever seen any uniform ever that says like their entire name across the fucking front? Like the other ones, like it says Axel, and then like
one of my sweaters.
I was an EMT. It said Larry on my.
Yeah, it didn't say Larry Dwyer Jr. on it or anything like that.
It's
Lawrence.
Larry Dwyer on my badge.
Yeah,
but my name
Larry
tag
Dwyer
said Larry.
of Hatebreed fame.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it said. That's exactly what it said.
Larry
Especially
Dwyer,
since it was like 1996, because anybody gave me shit who fucking Hatebreed was in 1996.
Yeah,
But
Tommy
yeah, no, it
Jarvis.
just says Larry. Just as Larry.
It said Tommy Jarvis.
It said
right across.
Thomas. It actually said Thomas Jarvis, and then in parentheses from part 6.
From part 6.
Not from part 5 or 4.
Just so you didn't think it was the one from 4 or 5. Right. Exactly.
Holly says Tommy scuffles with Jason. The chick says, Axel, something's happened to Tommy. Axel gets killed, but Tommy is unscathed and suddenly appears. Hey, maggot head, remember me, asshole.
Seat.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you were just fighting outside. Yeah, the whole thing is confusing because
Yeah.
is he undercover? Is Tommy undercover?
You remember me from 11 seconds ago? You
Yeah,
were
man.
just outside with him. What do you mean you remember him?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we missed something in between Hike Alone. Because in Hike in the Snow, he is Tommy Jarvis and he's back and he's causing trouble.
You're going too far. You're going too far.
Yeah,
Okay,
he just
all
We'll,
looks
right.
like
we'll talk about that when we get to the
yeah,
snow.
yeah.
All right, god damn it! It's just so like
We'll
it
get
seems like he was undercover, like he was
But
trying to trick Jason.
Holly's point is Tommy's outside and starts tussling with Jason, which is the noises you hear. Boom, bah, boom, boom. And horrible actor girl says to horrible actor boy, hey, Tommy's in trouble. And so he goes out there to try to save Tommy and he gets killed. And then we see Jason and Tommy's in the driver's seat and he's like, hey, remember me? You just fucking saw him 10
Right.
seconds ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Of course he remembers you, unless
Have we-
Jason's got really bad short-term memory.
I was gonna say, does Jason maybe have the memento thing going on? Do you think Jason maybe has tattoos all over him, like he has
Tommy
tattoos
Jarvis is a dickhead.
Tommy Jarvis is a dick.
Tommy's theory.
There's he has a Polaroid of Tommy Jarvis in his jacket that he pulls out every once in a while, and he turns around and it says Tommy Jarvis. Don't trust anything he says.
Yeah.
You think the memento? Yeah. The multiple Tommy's theory has now entered into our lexicon along with the multiple Jason's theory, and undercover Jarvis is in plain sight.
Now, for people who remember part 4 better than I do, because I hope this was a line. Did he call him a maggot head in part 4 or 6?
I
Is
don't
it a
remember.
throwback? Is it a
Couldn't have been in
throwback line?
4 because he wasn't an undead in 4, so the maggot headline would make no sense in part 4. So
Okay.
if he said it at all, it would had to have been in 6, and I don't remember it.
It certainly wasn't 5 because Tommy in 5 was like very like he was like
all crazy.
he was either super quiet or he kicked your fucking ass for no reason.
Yeah, he was giving everybody the John Cena attitude adjustment through tables.
Right. So it would have been part 6. I was hoping
Holly
it was
says
like
6.
a call. Okay, all right. I was hoping it was a callback to a line from one of them, but I didn't remember it. It seemed too forced not to be. You know what I mean? Like it didn't seem. It didn't really fit. So I was like, that has to be a callback. Yeah.
Holy shit! Everybody, Holly.
Everybody remembers but us.
6. Yes.
They should be doing our job. We should be in.
Yeah.
The
What am I
comments.
doing?
Yeah.
Why am I even here?
You guys want to switch?
Because I've got the masks. That's why I'm
That's
here.
right.
Fucking shit.
So we do get a moment though in this that I like about it that I really wanted to see Kyle survive, right? Because he held his own, and so Tommy jumps into the driver's seat. Hey, maggot head, go fuck yourself, and then boom, he just drives off.
Yep.
And we get this kind of.
I wanted nothing more in the world for whenever Tommy to just stepped on the gas and the thing to start going for the little gurney to just slide out the back door right at Jason's feet.
And then Jason grabs the machete like a baseball bat and just smashes him in the face. That would have been good. That would have been very good.
Agreed.
So that's where this one ends. It ends on that. I did think honestly because it would have been badass when Tommy says, "Hey, maggot head, you remember me?" I thought he was going to put it in reverse and run him over, but he did the sensible thing.
Then he would have fallen into the ambulance, and that would have just been out because the doors were open. That'd have been a horrible.
Multiple Larry's theory.
Yeah, there's
multiple
a multiple
Larry's.
Yep.
All right, so we finish off Never Hike Alone. Do you guys want to rate these like we've rated everything else, or no?
Should we?
I don't know. I mean,
I can.
Okay, well let's save it though. Let's go into Snow.
Okay.
And then we'll talk.
Given that combined they're an hour and 20 minutes, I think we should just count it as one movie.
So, Stu, how does Never Hike in the Snow start off?
Ever Hike in the Snow starts off with some kid just running the hell away from Jason. This movie wastes no time Jasoning.
Yeah.
Never Hike Alone took its time getting to Jason. This movie's just like, you want Jason? We got Jason.
Yeah. We got you.
Just running from Jason, and Jason bow and arrows him. And then
that was nice to see.
He's good with a bow.
I was like,
which
I
makes sense.
like where we're going here. I like, well, and was it part 3? He used the harpoon gun,
The harpoon gun.
right?
Wait
So
a minute,
I would
but Larry,
yeah.
but Larry,
Hi.
weren't you mad in the reboot when he used the bow and arrow? I think you were
Was
mad
I?
about that.
I wasn't in this. Maybe that primed me, and I got all the madness out of me after that because I liked it in this. I was like, I don't think it's plausible, but listen, it's been a long time. Maybe he's had time to practice.
He
Maybe it
he
hasn't
grew
been
up
a
in a
long
camp.
time. I don't know continuity. I don't know where we are again. Maybe he's 16 in this. I don't know. Or he's 71, which is how old he would be if he was just a boy in 1980. I don't know.
Or he's a ghost, as we've been told.
Or didn't he die in like 1956 or something?
1958.
58.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
70 years old at this point. He
Yeah.
looks good.
He looks
in good shape.
Damn good. He looks
good
damn
shape.
good. When you get the mask knocked off, and it was part 1, right? And Never Heikel him
Yeah.
when the mask comes off. He's still got that,
He could
kinda
use a
like-
dentist. He could use a dentist.
He certainly. This
Yeah,
one here
there's a little-
appeared like he had no lips in this one. It appeared that he
Yeah.
was just all teeth, no
It
lips.
happens. That
Yeah.
happens. I'm okay with it.
Summer camp is where Joe learned to shoot an arrow. I
See?
think that's so. I mean, I think
He's
maybe
got his
he had
own summer camp.
he
So-
has literally but remember, here's the part: he fucking drowned. So and he has a problem in the water. That's I think what he should work on more than the bow and arrow.
There's nobody there to teach him bow and arrow. He kills them all.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
can't learn things when you're killing your own instructors.
So he gets this kid with a fucking with a arrow through the leg, knocks him down, and then he gets up to him, and we get one of the best I think effects we have in this whole thing.
Yeah,
is he essentially baseball bats the axe through his mouth.
Yeah.
And it's a gross scene too because the kid's still alive.
And he turns
just-
him into like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, he's just kind of like
He was Terrence and Phillip, basically. He Terrence and Phillip. He's like, hey, Terrence.
Ah, look who it is! It's Celine Dion.
Yay. Don't kick the baby. Fucking. Why do the Canadians have like I don't know, whatever.
That's how
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, when Parker and Stone decided to do Canadians, they decided to differentiate them by having their heads open differently. That's just
Fair,
the
makes
answer.
sense.
They wanted them
makes
to look
sense.
different. That's how you know Ike is Canadian. His head opens differently. So this one, I don't know. Now we meet Detective or Sheriff David Lynch. That's all I could think about in this whole fucking thing. I couldn't take my eyes off of this guy. And then Larry told me he's actually one of the stars of Part 6, which I didn't realize.
Yes. He was deputy. If you go back to the episode, we spent a long time talking about his name because he's Deputy Rick Cologne. And I remember being like, I wish my name was Rick Cologne.
So, wait, he's the guy that the girl and Tommy lock in the prison cell when
And he survives, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that's awesome. I
And
didn't
it's
know
the same.
that either.
It's the same actor, Vinny
okay.
Gustafori.
That
Again,
that
I'm not
makes
Italian.
more
I
sense
don't
in
know
this
the name.
movie wherever he goes up to Tommy and he's like, "Yo, wabang" or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you bang, whatever that meant.
Yeah.
Well, because
Um,
his character didn't he also have the very 80s laser scope pistol
Mhm.
in that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but now he's Sheriff Rick Cologne. He's gone through the ranks. He's accelerated.
Whenever they have to come free you from your own prison cell, they're like, "This guy has upward mobility."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's feeling upward. Was I the only one that couldn't not see David Lynch in this guy though? Like I was waiting
Oh
for
no,
him to
he's
stop.
David Lynch's twin.
I was waiting for him to stop doing this and make a surreal movie I'll never understand, and then go back to like doing whatever he's doing in this. In 30 years,
I was just
somehow became
waiting.
a worse
Yeah.
actor.
Like I was like, did he do this while directing Twin Peaks, or I don't know. I wasn't sure. But
Patrick figured it out. Jason is whatever the headless horseman is. Undead, corporeal, not driven by cannibalistic hunger, kills with weapons. Okay. All right. And they're both in New York, New Jersey, right? So that maybe that's a tri-state area kind of ghost thing. Question, what is the headless horseman? I don't know. This one here, it was short, and it kind of tries to play the Pulp Fiction thing of like telling the story out of order.
Yeah.
And we get a scene in a Friday the 13th movie that we don't need. Did we ever need a scene where a sheriff goes to like tell like the mother that he's missing? Like I felt like we were watching CSI at one point.
And fuck around in the kid's room for evidence.
Yeah,
I mean, he.
this guy fucks.
Yeah. I'm trying to justify that scene. I mean, he needed to find out, where the kid was. I guess he could have found out another
I
way.
think
I
it's
don't know.
just establishing that we're not supposed to like the sheriff even harder because
No,
he's
it was
lying
establishing
to
that
this lady and
it was establishing that the kid was searching on the internet for fucking Camp Crystal Lake, and he found it nearby. Because that's what all the papers were, like fucking directions to where Camp Crystal Lake was. He wanted to see the legendary. Basically, what happened is, as the kids say these days, he fucked around and found out.
Fucked around, found out.
Yeah, he fucked around and found out.
Play
Like, you're not
stupid games, win stupid prizes. I hear
right.
that one a lot. I hear that one a lot.
Okay, all right.
Did
Yeah.
you guys notice when the sheriff went into the bedroom and what was up on his computer screen?
No.
yes, but I forget what it was.
He was watching one of the video vlogs of Kyle.
Okay.
He turns the computer on, and it's a window of Kyle, like it's and he just X's out of that. Or it might have been the mother. Someone went in the room and turned on the computer, and they were watching that.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't catch that. I had a hard time, and again, I didn't find out until today that this was a prequel. And it was Holly who told me. I was like, "What the fuck do you mean?" I was like, it doesn't make sense as a prequel."
It doesn't.
I was like, "I don't."
It can make sense as a prequel if you took the Tommy Jarvis stuff out or explained it better. Like, so let's just get right
to what
that.
Stu said. Let's go to what Stu said earlier. So, if this is a prequel, then you're telling me that Tommy Jarvis was fucking carving into some cop's hood and got arrested for trespassing and running around with a fucking shotgun, but then
Got hired
was
as
like
a
chief paramedic. It doesn't.
Right.
chief paramedic who goes specifically to Camp Crystal Lake and is surprised to see Jason
Surprised
there.
to see Jason
Yeah.
when in the prequel he's like, "You know what the fuck's going on?" Well, in 20 minutes you'll forget, apparently, because your character doesn't know what's going on in the sequel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
not
makes no sense.
it's not well done. That part of it is not well done.
I think we need to disconnect that. I think we need to say that we need to just talk about Never Hike in the Snow as it's its own thing. Otherwise, we're going to get too hung up with the fact that it does not work as a prequel, because it doesn't. There's too many problems
Yeah,
for
and
that
if
to
you're
be an
and if
actual
you're talking
prequel.
about the kid in this one having been watching vlogs with Kyle, it makes even more sense for this to be a sequel instead of a prequel.
Right.
Well, that, or it could have just established that Kyle was popular amongst amongst like these kids. Yeah, these kids.
Yeah,
that are
but then they
into
could
that
have
kind of
used it. Then they could have used it that he was going to try to look for Kyle, or
stuff.
he
Yeah,
knew Kyle was in the air because he lives right there. So he's like, "Holy shit, my favorite vlogger is right in my area. Let me go check out this area too."
yeah.
Like,
Ho-
it
ho-
would have
ho-
completely worked better as a sequel.
Holly is right about that too. So some
She
scenes
pointed
there's
that
no
out to me
snow.
today.
Some scenes
Yeah.
there's no snow. Some scenes there's dustings. Some scenes it's very snowy. I gotta
Like
be
they
honest.
turn their car off for 2 minutes, and whenever they go back to their car, there's 2 inches of snow on their car. But then
Yeah.
they stand around and it's not snowing at all.
Yeah, I watched both of these last night in a row, and so it's only an hour and like 20 minutes. And Never Hike Alone, I was like firmly invested in, and within like 15 minutes of this one, I was like grabbing my phone. I was still paying attention to it, but it's funny that these are made by the same people, because I think this one fails, even if you don't want to talk about it. The Tommy Jarvis stuff is just so weird when you connect it. And I knew that this was a prequel. I read that yesterday. This is a prequel to the other one. But also, it's too short. Like if you added another 20 minutes and maybe aired it out a little bit, I think it could have been better. But it
If they're
seems
going
like
to add another 20 minutes, they would have had to rewrite this whole fucking thing.
yeah. 'Cause, I mean,
Honestly, because all you're going to do is add shit that makes it more convoluted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just it's a winter safety PSA. I mean, I'm not in. Again, I don't know about you guys. I'm not shitting on it. If you didn't try to tell me that this was a prequel, I still enjoyed a lot of this.
Yeah,
there's good stuff in it.
I still thought it was very well done. There was a lot more special effects because there was a lot more
Well,
blood.
the axe to the mouth is great.
Great scene. So was the later shotgun scene with the cop, obviously, where he shoots the fucking face off.
Yeah.
Um, I I I loved, and I think the most important thing for me. Fucking, why did it take so long to get Jason in the snow? Motherfucking Crystal Lake is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did it take somebody this long to give me Jason in the snow?
Yeah.
Because they always take place in the summer. It's a
Stop
summer
it. Well,
camp.
stop, goddammit. Make it a winter camp. Or somebody go to the summer camp in the winter. Like, it's awesome to see Jason in the snow. I thought it looked fucking great. Him against the white background, whether the snow was in different heights and different scenes or not. I just thought it looked really cool, and it was an idea that I wish we had seen. I would have liked to see more of this as an actual movie written a little bit. I felt like this was just, again, we talked earlier, they have plans to do a Never Hike 2 and 3 and 4. Was this kind of just to appease people until they could get 2 out there? And they were just like, let's make a quick, because again, let's just face it, this is 20 minutes long. 10 minutes are fucking credit.
Maybe this is maybe like you're saying, maybe it's an effects pitch reel. Maybe it's like
Maybe.
saying, okay, Never Hike Alone was this thing, low budget, but we showed that we can put a lot of Jason in. We could do this, but there's not a lot of extras in there. It's a delicious burger, but there's nothing on top of it.
Yeah.
Let's show you what we could do, something a little shorter, and kind of show you what we could do with a little bit more money and a little bit more time spent on that stuff. Maybe it just, I don't know. It felt more, again, like I said, you got this cool opening with the opening kill. Then we're focused on the sheriff for 15 of the 25 minutes. We're visiting the mom, and the mom's having all these, the mom, by the way, looks the same age as the fucking kid. That was weird all on its own. When they show the picture of them, I'm like, they're fucking. They're not parent. That's not like a parent and son. This is a boyfriend and girlfriend. She's 4 years older than him. This didn't seem right.
It's like that weird new brother and sister porn that's going on these days. This is weird. Like, what?
What are we doing now? What are we doing?
Happening?
What's happening?
Yeah. Wait, can't it just be the maid? What happened to it just being the maid?
What happened? What happened to
I don't need it to be a stepsister.
Nobody can afford maids anymore.
What happened? What happened to just banging my teacher on her desk?
Yeah.
Right. The kid looked older. Yeah, Joe's right. The kid did not look younger than her enough to have come out of her birth canal. Absolutely not. If you want to tell me he was adopted, or we're just saying kid as in he's a neighborhood kid, fine. But yeah, so like I said, we get the scene where the detective or the sheriff has to go break the news. He lies to her, and I feel like we're getting into stuff that you need much more story to get into. Stu, what is your kind of thought process on the snow one?
You know what? I actually like the snow one more because my biggest problem with the first one, I give them credit for trying something different, but boy, nothing happens. We even talked about it when we were talking, it's like, oh, they have 5 different confrontations where he hits Jason and Jason hits him back and then he runs away and then they find each other again and he hits Jason and Jason hits him back and he runs away. And that's all on top of the opening 20 minutes. That's this dude talking about his shovel and talking about hey, you amateur hikers, don't do this thing that I'm about to do. It's well made. I'm impressed with how good they made it look. But boy, nothing happens in it. I wasn't just sitting on the edge of my seat oh, I can't wait for the next time Kyle runs away from Jason. I can't wait for those non-actors to come in at the end. It's going to be great. This one, at least for 20, 25 minutes, shit is consistently happening.
Yeah, no, there's no argument there. It's definitely more.
You got Tommy fighting with the cops. You got the kid getting killed.
Ernest the Cat Miller.
Jason would stand no chance against Ernest the Cat Miller.
Hold on, tell me that Ernest Miller was one of Stu's favorite 90s wrestlers.
His top.
Number one.
Let me do my impression. Now I don't know Ernest the Cat Miller, but let me do my impression. Let me do my impression of the show the other night because I understood everybody else's thing. So Shawnee Mack comes on. He's like, I got to go with The Rock, right? Everybody on Earth knows The Rock. This guy's the biggest thing ever. I'm going The Rock. And then Sal comes on from Robert Barron's, and he's like Mick Foley, right? And these are all names I know. I don't know Mick Foley. This guy was Cactus Jack, and he was, he was Mankind. Dude Love. He had a sock puppet. And then Lou said,
Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
Yeah.
Ripping beers, snapping them down, kind of like that original hard ass redneck guy. I'm like, I know all these. And Stu goes last, and he's like, when we talked about this, I immediately said to myself, I know who my number one is. And then I couldn't even laugh because I didn't get it. He's like, Ernest the Cat Miller. And then the rest of the guys on the screen were just like, what?
Yeah. Flabbergasted.
I looked him up the next day. I was
you really didn't know who he was?
No fucking clue. I don't think anybody knows who he is, Larry.
Unless
I
did.
He was a real martial artist.
I used to watch WCW when he was in WCW.
See, I think that's why you know. I think a guy like me who didn't watch it doesn't know. So I looked him up, and even his Wikipedia entries, like it's it's just trying to be nice,
Yeah.
he was.
It's more about his 10 minutes in fucking the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke than it is about his actual wrestling.
He was the Sheik, right?
Yeah.
And in the Wikipedia entry, it talks more about him.
To Stu's point, though, when I saw him come up in The Wrestler, I was like, "Yeah, Ernest the Cat Miller, yeah." But still wouldn't have made my top 5 of '90s wrestlers.
Oh,
Shockmaster would have still been number 1.
Shockmaster, there you go.
There was a lot of open jaws in the room, in the digital room when Stu said that.
But this is why we love Stu, right?
I told Stu. I told Stu that night that like Stu is the person I get the most feedback on from the podcast and from the streams because everybody's just always puzzled by Stu.
Yeah.
Like,
wait till they listen to your next PMI with me.
Yeah. The very last PMI, Stu pulled a doozy out. That'll be out at the end of December. Don't worry, you've never heard of it. I won't say what it is now because there's no point. You'll never have heard of it.
I kind of pulled a Larry from back in the Cult Classic Saturday nights.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't wait to you guys will tell me right after this is over.
Oh, I'll absolutely tell you.
Wait.
You're going to be
psyched.
So I don't know.
Sorry about the wrestling sidebar, everybody.
No, that's fine. That's fine. They half of them were there.
Okay.
So Larry,
yeah.
In the end, how did you feel about this one comparatively to Hike? Now we know Stu's saying he likes snow better than woods. What did you enjoy more out of the two?
I liked Never Hike Alone better.
Right.
I thought it was a more thorough story. I did like the tension I thought they did a good job building tension. I thought that kid was a pretty good actor. He did a good job. I believed him. I believed his role. I thought he was, I don't know, man. I thought he was a good character. I hope they continue on with him. Snow looked better as it should have. We didn't talk budget. Never Hike in the Snow was $100,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, whereas Never Hike Alone was $19,000. So Never Hike in the Snow, as I mentioned or alluded to earlier, they crowdfunded, which is why the credits were 10 minutes fucking long. They had to thank everybody who gave them $20 to make this $100,000 affair, which is why you got all these extra kills and the blood and the gore, and it all looked so well.
Somebody gets their head shot all the way off.
Yeah, totally, and it all worked. They did a great job. The one thing they didn't do a good job with, to me, and I said it to John earlier, I meant to make a cologne is expensive. I meant to make an image earlier when they showed Pamela Voorhees' dying head. This is all I could think of. I was like, that's not Pamela, that's Eddie from an early Iron Maiden t-shirt that I had when I was 11 years old. So if you watch Never Hike in the Snow, the part where they show Pamela's severed head, it's not Pamela, it's Eddie from Iron Maiden.
It's not only just that, it's not even the same severed head from the first one, I don't think. When Kyle finds her head in the
it's
little
not even close.
Yeah, it's like
it's got like it's kind of spiky hair on each side. I'm like, it's fucking Eddie. I started singing Iron Maiden songs. I had to pause it so I could sing. I was like singing The Prowler. I was like fucking having a really good time. I did enjoy Never Hike in the Snow for what it brought as far as special effects and such, and it was more of our traditional Jason, just fucking massacring people, right? Which is what we want to see. But as far as overall enjoyment, I overall enjoyed the first one the more, especially if we're going to talk about the confusion that is Deputy Sheriff Cologne and Tommy's whole addition to Never Hike in the Snow. It just got really confusing what was going on there. If you put the two together, like it just doesn't work.
Never Run to the Hills. Yeah, apparently DP's name is in those credits.
There it is.
A producer of Never Hiking the Snow.
And,
is
wait,
with
dude,
us.
how do we have a producer here and we haven't included him in the chat?
Yeah.
I have questions about Pamela's head that I need answered.
Look, DP was on the $40 level. They don't call you in for that shit. They don't call you in for that stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely preferred Alone more than Snow. Especially when you get into the idea that this is a supposed to be a prequel to the next one, and the Tommy Jarvis thing is just like, what happened? Like you said, if it was two separate things and they used Tom Matthews twice as Tommy Jarvis, I'd have no problem with it. You've got a rebellious Tommy Jarvis coming back to really stick it to Deputy Cologne and stop Jason in his tracks, and then it still kind of doesn't make sense why he's a paramedic at Crystal Lake and is surprised by Jason. In the next one, the ending blows up on the next one. It really does. It really does. $100 level tier for the first one. Oh, look at that. We got two producers on these things.
Holy shit. We fucking blew it. We really screwed the pooch.
2 t-shirts, a poster, and some pins. Wow. Holly, I would love to try that. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'm that tech savvy. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm going with Alone myself. You guys want to grade these things on a 5 scale? Do you feel that? Well. Yeah. All right, Larry. What do you?
We got to wrap up this whole. We got to wrap up this whole series anyway, right?
Let's wrap it totally up, Larry. What would you give? We'll start with you and Alone. 0 to 5. 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. Remember, these are fan films made with a lot of passion and a total of $119,000. What would you give the first one?
On a 1 to 5. Again, I said I liked the first one. I thought they did something original. It was a lot of there's a lot of tension. They did a really good job with that thing, man. I can't imagine this dude had Vincenzo or whatever. I can't imagine he had much experience in filmmaking, and they really did a good job. It's pretty impressive. I enjoyed it. I got to go with 3. I'm going to go with 3.
Holly goes 3 as well.
Yeah, which I think is higher than anything after 4 for me.
Yeah. We were.
That's sad. That's like 8 actual Jason movies.
Dude, you have the
more than
you have that guide.
Yeah, I have it. I'm going to see if he ranked anything higher than a 3 after that. Let's.
I would almost want you, Stu, to go through all of them one more time for us.
Jesus. Really?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what we gave these things.
All right. Friday the 13th, part 1. I gave it a 2.75. John gave it a 3. Larry gave it a 4.25.
Ooh, high. Larry's high on that one.
I love part 1. Not as much as part 2, though.
Friday the 13th, part 2, I gave it a 4.5. Larry gave it a 5. John gave it a 3.75. Pretty unanimously the most loved of the bunch. Part 3, I gave it a 2.5. Larry gave it a 3. John gave it a 2.75. So we were all right in line with that being a little above average.
Yep.
Part 4 were all over the place. I gave it a 1.5. Larry gave it a 4, and John gave it a 2.25.
Yeah, I think it's a 4 strictly on Crispin Glover's dance.
The dance, yeah.
That puts it right up there.
And he's a dead fuck.
He's a dead fuck.
Then we get to part 5.
Where's the corkscrew?
Then we get to part 5 where I went 1.75, Larry went 1.5, and John came in strong with his 4.
Love part 5.
Coming in hot.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, baby.
Part 6, Jason Lives. I, of course, had it as a 4.25. I love it. Larry at a 1.25, John at a 1.5, and we had a retro score from Lloyd of 3.25.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Lloyd was eating He was eating some peyote or something that night.
Was that Lloyd's one that he did with
That
us?
was. I think that was the
well,
one.
he did part 7 with us, and he gave us a retro score to part 6.
Okay,
We were
right.
talking about it
Okay.
because part 7 I gave a 3.25, Larry with a 2.5, John with a 1.75. You didn't like Jason fighting Jean Grey?
I remember this specifically. That movie sucks until the last 20 minutes. That movie is fucking terrible. That movie, if I remember correctly, might have the most insufferable fucking kids in it out of all of them. And then
And
the
plus
last
you had
20
real little kids, like they had like the super little kids.
No, that was part 6.
That was 6. That was 6.
Fuck. See, now which one was Utility Belt Jason? That was 6. Utility
6.
Belt Jason was 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we get to Jason taking Manhattan. We're all in the ones. I had a 1.75. Larry had a 1 even, and John had a 1.25.
That was memorable for two things. Nervous Lloyd. Remember the kid's Nervous Lloyd in that? Her boyfriend. And the line that whatever reason, the line I'll always remember is when the guy goes, "He's the son of a captain." I don't know why. And I think that was also the episode that we had the 10-minute long discussion on different admirals. Rear admirals and Patrick all the admirals. Yeah.
Yes.
Jason Goes to Hell. We were all incredibly huge fans of. 0.75 for me, 0.75 for John, and 0.5 for Larry.
That movie sucks.
Oh.
Although somehow Larry coming in with a 0.5 has 2 movies yet to come that scored less than that. Jason X, John and I really seemed to like it. I had a 3.25. John had a 3 even.
God, guys.
Larry with a 0.25 for Jason.
You're wrong about that one, Larry.
That movie is unforgivable.
No,
unforgivable.
No, that one's so much better upon second watch years later.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Well, maybe in a couple years I'll watch it again and I'll see.
And we had Holly on that one. She gave it a 2.0.
Well, God bless you all.
Freddy versus Jason, I had a 3.0. Larry had a 2.0. John had a 2.25. And for the reboot, we had I had a 1.5. Larry had a 0. Just
Fucking
0.
Just a waste of goddamn time.
John had a 1.75, and Holly again, I guess, was on that one with a 2.0.
I'll be honest, the reboot I remember liking quite a bit the first couple times I saw it, and then this time just being like, this is fucking trash. This thing does not hold up.
I just remember you guys disagreeing with me that Trent was the true hero of that movie.
Yeah, Trent, who's also in Transformers, by the way. All right,
garbage.
So I'll give Alone. I'll give it a 3.5. I think that's a really good movie, a good concept. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Stu, what do you give Alone?
Oh, we're doing them separately.
Yeah.
I appreciate what Alone did. I think Alone was really well made. I was also really bored through a lot of Alone, and it just kind of falls apart at the end. I would go like a 1.75. Like it's not awful or anything. It's not garbage, but I'm not going to sit here. Like, I'm not going to judge it against other real movies in the world and pretend that it's like a 3 or something. It's not. It's what it is. It's a fan film. It's good for a fan film, but it's a fan film.
I think I'm rating on a fan film scale. It's not probably not a 3.5 comparatively to a 3.5, but for this,
I'm legitimately saying it's the best one since part 4. I'm not even.
Well, you really hated. You really hated. Yeah, Holly's right. There were no pubes in any of these hiking movies at all.
There were none.
There was only only 2 there was only 1 female in the first one, and but I would have rather just her shut up than see any more of her at all. I am going to take my shirt off now, and you can see my boobs. No, you know what? Just leave.
No,
seriously,
leave it on.
just leave.
That's fine.
Leave it on.
We're fine.
I'm not interested.
We're all good. We're all set here.
Larry, Snow, what do you give it?
Snow, fun, but not nowhere near as original. Very derivative. It's more like what I would have come to expect from 7, 8, 9, X, etc. So forth. Whole lot of killing, not making much sense as far as a plot. Again, it's only a 20-minute movie. I think it might have been just a filler, like something to give fans something. While it was fun, I still, like I said, enjoyed Never Hike Alone a lot more. I love Jason in the Snow. I wish there was more of it. I would give this a higher score had I had more Jason in the Snow. And maybe with, if he'd killed somebody with a snow shovel or a snow blower, like
Snowball.
These are things, an icicle.
A
The-
carrot
Yeah,
out
but
of a
Carrot nose.
carrot nose in someone's eye.
Yeah, I think I could have gone a higher score for those. I'm gonna go a 2. I'll go 2 on Snow.
I'm gonna mirror that. I give it a 2. I give it credit for the stuff it did right. Like it did look good. It looked like it was well made. But yeah, it just I feel like it was either too short or too long. I can't even
I don't know
like
which.
I can't even make sense by saying that. I know it makes no sense by saying that, but like it felt like if maybe they padded it out and put a little bit more in it, it would have been better.
Yeah.
Or it felt like maybe if it just concentrated solely on Jason versus the kid, it could have been better. But once
I
you
wish
start,
this was either an hour and a half or 10 minutes.
seriously,
25 minutes was no good for me.
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
studio should. I mean, honestly, that'd be a great thing to do. Hand the reins over to
Give him
these
some
guys.
fucking I mean, now that the lawsuit's settled, I'm sure and I'm going to put air quotes because yeah, they did settle that, but I'm sure there's going to be more. Because
Yeah.
they're going to fucking do something. Nobody's going to be happy with it. So, I mean, I would love for them to say, okay, yeah, we're good now, and you know what, throw these kids a couple $1 million and let them, let them write a treatment first, come up with an original idea. But if they've got a good idea for a feature length, let them run with it. I like what they've done with most of both of these. So I'd like to see them run with it, especially if it's in the fucking snow.
I was just gonna say, if Larry kick starts it, he's gonna start sending them notes all the time in the Kickstarter. Guys, I loved your snow idea. Could you expand upon it? I would love to see Jason in the snow.
We're gonna need more snow.
They're
Larry's
like-
going to earmark his money that he donates and say, "Look, this has to go towards snow."
This is
or
this
you
is towards
can't use
snow.
it. You have to send it
Snow,
back.
snow or nothing. Snow or
Right.
bust. And like the guys are like, it's the fucking hate breed guy again. Like this is getting to be fucking annoying.
Can't take it. Can we just refund him, please? Can we just give that guy's money back? So
The crazy thing is he only gave $18 and he's trying to make big decisions.
he just keeps emailing us snow or no.
Snow or no. All right, Stu, what do you give it?
It's worse made than the other one, but I did enjoy watching it more. I think the shortness of not just watching the same thing for half an hour at the beginning is pretty good. I'll go like 1.5 again. Like it's fine. I enjoyed watching it, but I mean it's a nothing burger. It barely grades out above an incomplete.
Okay.
It's fair.
All right.
I can't argue.
Tommy Jarvis versus Tommy Doyle, aka Evil Dies Tonight.
Prior to Halloween Kills, at a comic book forum I post that we have postulated this before, but back then you only had Tommy Doyle from Curse of Michael Myers to go with.
Oh, yeah, Paul Rudd.
Yeah. So it's
All right.
interesting because Jarvis is an idiot, but he's much more physically competent.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd, Tommy Doyle, seemed to have a plan. He really studied Michael. He really knew what was going on, but he was also built like Paul Rudd. So
He was also Paul Rudd. So there's that. He was
DP.
fucking. What's Jason Wright? Oh, Jason Wright's
another
another
fan film.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
I've never
watch
seen
that
that one, but it's. I've heard that's good as well. I've heard it's good.
Evil Dead version of the Friday the 13th.
Well,
Interesting.
all right, let's watch it and then we'll all regroup here in an hour.
Let's
That's
regroup.
that's a newer one. I haven't seen that yet. I gotta watch that.
Yeah,
There's
YouTube started recommending it for me after I watched
yeah, like we
these.
said earlier at the beginning. There's a bunch, man. There's a bunch of fucking Halloween one. Vincenzo, the director here, and writer and
This
guy
this
who
poor
played
guy whose name is not Vincenzo, by the way.
whatever. Vincente. Hey.
Hey, Abruzzese.
Hey, yeah, Clemenza, whatever the guy's name is.
Clemenza.
Chlamydia.
He also stars. He's in Michael Myers in a pretty big Halloween fan film. I can't remember the goddamn name of it now. But yeah, same guy. He plays Michael Myers in a Halloween fan film. There's so many. Yeah, he just brought up the Jason Rising, and I think, like we said at the beginning, there's 3 more of these supposed to come out at some point.
Yeah.
Never Hike Alone 2, Never Hike Again, Never Hike Alone 3, Jason Takes Crystal Lake, and then the finale and I can tell you I know it's the finale because it's Never Hike Alone 4, The Final Hike.
The final
See
hike.
how they
Yeah.
that's how they
I just looked it up on YouTube. It is on YouTube. The one I mentioned earlier is called Michael versus Jason Evil Emerges.
Evil
It's 29
Emerges.
minutes long. It's the same kind of thing. It's pretty good.
All right. I did watch. Well, now I got to figure out where Tessio's fan film for the Michael Myers. Vincente DeSante is his name, by the way.
You're close. You were actually closer than I thought.
I thought so too. I thought I did pretty good. Actor. Happy. God, he's in a few. The Spirit of Haddonfield was the one that I was talking about. It's from like 3 years ago. I saw it back then. It's not a short film so much as it is a scene. And a lot of short films seem to be that.
I've seen those. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of the superhero ones that do that where it's like a scene.
Yeah, and that's kind
Yeah.
of what this is. It's Michael stalking a girl in Today World, and just kind of he gets into her house, and there's a little cat and mouse. But again, like these, it's well shot, and he plays a good Michael Myers. The mask, what you run up into with Halloween stuff is the mask isn't always great.
The mask isn't great in the actual movies usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen, part 4,
I love part 4 as a movie. Terrible
it's the
mask. He
worst.
just looks shocked all the time.
my favorite though is like the part at the school when his hair inexplicably is like bleach blonde, like on the mask for like 2 seconds. Like they cut to Michael like fucking grabbing something and his hair is bleach blonde on the mask. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like they got like a fucking Ben Tramer mask on him. I'm like, I don't understand how the fuck that happened.
Joe says the sequel should be Two Hike, Two Alone.
I like that. So apparently, Vincente is in another one called Happy Halloween, a Halloween Kills fan. Oh, I don't need a Halloween Kills fan film.
Nobody does.
And this lost scene, a police officer. Oh, so it's another scene one. So, dude, like, there's a ton of fan films. I'm sure there's other ones too for other franchises. Oh, hey, where'd you come
and
from?
he Michael Myers up on you.
He did. He did. You got all creepy. What are you getting creepy for? All right. You say goodnight. You going to bed? Yeah. You want to say hi to everybody first? Okay.
Yeah.
Owen,
Hi,
happy birthday last week, buddy.
thank you.
Oh, happy
How-
birthday.
How old are you now?
7.
Whoa! Senior citizen, watch out.
All right. Done?
Huh?
We're done talking. Yeah, I think you All right, give me 1 second.
Stu.
Making a Dr. Sartan origin story. I do not want that at all.
Yeah, Halloween Kills the franchise. No, thank you.
My wife loved it. Listen to that episode of Pino Comics.
Yeah,
My wife
garbage
loved
movie.
Halloween Kills.
Garbage movie. Yeah, Dr. Fartan. Hey, Owen, pick my ticket number at the raffle this Saturday.
There is no raffle this Saturday. There's no raffles at the special ones like this. But if you might win cookies, maybe I'll bring some cookies.
Ooh, cookies.
Larry, why don't you talk about this Saturday?
What's happening this Saturday?
Come on, man.
This Saturday, Strand Theater, Seymour, Connecticut, Night of the Ninja. You can write down here, ConnecticutCultClassics.com. We are showing 2 fantastical martial arts films from the 80s, kind of.
Yeah.
The first one is going to be Miami Connection, which, if you've never seen, is an insane, batshit, crazy film about a group of friends in a band called Dragon Sound that are also all Taekwondo masters, and they go fight some drug dealers. Awesome. It's in Miami.
It's a great one. But no, it's actually, I think the movie takes place in Orlando.
Oh,
And
that's even right.
That's what's crazy about it, is it doesn't take place in Miami at all.
Yeah, I think the drug dealers are from Miami, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. Yeah. But the real big thing of this is it's going to be the first Connecticut screening of New York Ninja, which is a film that Vinegar Syndrome unknowingly purchased a few years ago. They'd purchased a whole group of old films from a company, because that's what they do. They purchase these films, they restore them, clean them up, release them on Blu-ray. And in that purchase was this just box of film cans, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And it was an unfinished John Liu martial arts film from 1984 called New York Ninja. So they took a look at it, and Curtis Spieler, who you probably know if you listen to the Pint, he's been on a lot of shows. We've also showed a couple of his films, or one of his films, at Connecticut Cult Classics nights. He works for Vinegar Syndrome, and he said, "Guys, let me fucking finish this movie." So they said they gave him the reins, and he took this thing, and it had no sound at all. He actually read lips and made a script, hired a whole bunch of voice talent, people like Michael Berryman, Don the Dragon Wilson, Linnea Quigley, got them all to do the script for it, and he made this unfinished 1984 movie into a finished movie that is available for sale from Vinegar Syndrome, but you can also catch it in its Connecticut premiere on Saturday at the Strand, and they'll be there with copies for sale if you
I
love
was
it
just
so
going to
much.
ask you that. Yeah, I was just going to ask you if they had copies of it for sale there.
They will
The
have some
the
copies.
trailer is absolutely bonkers, and Curtis is a really cool guy, and he's very talented. If you were at the show a couple months ago, the Dead Girl in Apartment, Jesus, at 3 or 6? I think it's 3. Which just it had me squinching the whole movie. Fantastic fun.
I think you screamed out loud at one point.
I screamed out loud at one point. Yeah, to everybody's shock and horror around me, I screamed out loud during a tense moment. It was sort of embarrassing and totally embarrassing at the same time. But
what Curtis has basically done is something that you can't do. It's just letting Quigley's voice take off its shirt. I don't know if her voice does that anymore. But he's like intentionally made a cult film. Like you can't, if you go into making a film saying, "I want this to be a cult classic," that never works. You can't,
right.
It doesn't, this is just something that happens organically. But because this was filmed in 84 and the pieces were there, it's basically what you, like if somebody had said to you, "Hey, have you ever fucking seen Raw Force or like some crazy 80s movie?" That's basically what they did, man. They made what is a cult classic, and he brought it back to life, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a fun time. That's going to be a fun night.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I haven't had a chance. I wanted to get down to the archive and pick up a copy, but I was like, do I want to do that? And then, or do I want my first viewing to be there? And I want my viewing to be there because I
haven't watched it yet. I've had it.
Yeah.
Curtis gave me a copy. I've had it. It's sitting right here, but I said I'm not going to watch it. I want to see it in the theater with everybody for the first time.
And it's going to be so awesome, too, to go to the cult show. And at the very least, I know that I love Miami Connection and wash out the memories of that trauma night, Lair, that, man, oh, man. That was not made for me, but everybody had a good time. Everybody had a good time. Class of Nukem High.
Yeah, great movie.
Is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Awesome
I've never
movie.
seen it before. Toxic Avenger is fun, and I've always thought it was fun. But my lord, Class of Nukem High is as bad as I could have imagined. Larry, HorrorNewsNetwork.net. What do you have cooking up there right now? Anything good?
Everything, dude. It's just you know what? I have been crazy busy, so I haven't been writing a ton. But that doesn't mean that Sean McLaughlin, Rob, and Mark and the rest of the team aren't churning out stuff. They're on top of everything. All new horror releases, horror news, etc. It's all up there, man. They're on top of it, on their A game, and already planning Connecticut Horror Fest for next year. I believe 2 days next year, and I believe we have three guests signed already. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure we do. So yeah, fucking moving. We're moving, making moves.
We're dragging Stu out next year. He's coming. I'm gonna make it happen. I got a fishing line with some corned beef on the end of it, and I'm just hanging it out there, hanging it out there with a little bit of corned beef. All right, Stu. SWO Productions, why don't you tell everybody about the website, any good articles that are up right now? Is Pop Tart Quest happening at the moment? And then talk about the podcast a little bit and what's coming up and what's going on right now.
I like that I'm supposed to know anything that I'm doing with my life. Yeah, so we have the podcast currently comes out the 1st and 15th of every month. The current episode is with Julio from the Contrarians, where we talk about Superman 2. And the next episode coming out on, what month is it? November. December 1st coming out will be with Ken from the ODPH. We'll be talking about the first Sin City movie.
Huh.
And then, on the website, we have articles. We've been talking. I have a guy doing a series on all the Marvel Netflix shows. I've been doing more Pop-Tart stuff. I haven't been doing any videos because I've got a ton of mouth ulcers going on. So Pop-Tarts are harder to eat right now. But I've just been eating ice cream. But yeah.
Eric says you could stay in his guest house.
Look at that.
There we go.
Look at that.
I like
I had a guest house.
Shit, I need a guest house. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is he's going to make you eat nothing but pastrami and corned beef for the whole weekend.
I didn't dislike it. I don't know if I could eat it for a whole weekend, but I didn't dislike it. Watch the video. Rewatch the Jason Goes to Hell episode. I ate it. I liked it. It was fine.
It's my neighbor's house, but she's blind and deaf. You don't have to be quiet.
Yeah.
All
No
right,
idea you're there.
Check out SWO Productions. Always a great time. Check out the latest Pint of Comics. This last episode is Punisher Warzone, which Stu made fun of me on Twitter for.
Like Saving Private Ryan.
It's not what I said. That's not what I said. Me and Brent from Home Video Hustle, which is a great podcast, talked about that one. This week, I have G.I. Gary and John from Shocking Things podcast on, and we give our list of top 10. Oh, this is a long one. Top 10 pre-1990s action figures. So there's a lot of fun stuff there. It was a great night because when they came over to record, Gary brought every one of them in a box. This was not a video. So as we're talking about it, he's pulling them out of the box, just showing me and John, and I'm like, man, that's dedication. That's dedication.
I know what my number one would have been. I know.
What would it have been?
Muscles.
The little
those little guys.
Yeah, the little guys.
They were all like peach colored.
Yep.
I actually have. So I don't know where in here. Someone for Christmas a couple years ago gave me They did them again, but they did them with different licensing. No, different. So I have Aliens muscles.
Oh shit!
It's like it's got Aliens. It's got the Colonial Marines. It's in the same type of packaging, and I think it's just Alien branded muscles. Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yep.
I just watched Aliens today.
Oh, first time?
I don't think, but it's been a while. Like if I have, like if it's one of those movies like I know I've seen chunks of. Not enough people are open to talk about the fact that Aliens is vastly superior to Alien.
Two different movies, man. Two different movies. It's hard. It's hard.
One is much better than the other.
Oh Lord, that's right. You gave Alien like a 1, right?
No, I give Alien a 3. It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
That's like a 1.
Aliens is a great movie.
They're both great movies.
All right, so check us out later this week. Check out SW Productions. Check out horrornewsnetwork.net. And hey, have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for watching, for hanging out with us, for listening to the show. I truly do appreciate it. I don't know if I say it enough, but
are you thankful?
I'm very thankful for.
What are you thankful for, John?
I'm thankful for Larry and Stu and for all of you. And have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you for listening to this series for what's apparently been 2 years. I didn't realize September. We've been doing this for so long. I apologize.
And Nightmare on Elm Street, I will guarantee this if I can guarantee anything. Nightmare on Elm Street 1 we will get done before the end of the year, and then we'll start moving through them.
Awesome.
So Nightmare on Elm Street 1 will happen in December at some point, and then how many of those are there? 7 plus the remake. So we've got we're not doing Freddy and Jason again. So
I think there's 5, then New Nightmare, then the remake, and we don't have to do Freddy versus Jason. So
no, there's 6. There's 6. Final Nightmare. Final Nightmare was 6. That was the 3D one, I think. And then it went to New Nightmare, and then we don't have to do Freddy vs. Jason, but then the reboot with Jackie Earle Haley. So I think that's 7. Yeah, it's gonna be 7.
Oh, the one with Jackie. I like that one. That's the one where he's like, "You're in here with me," right?
Go ahead.
Oh, no,
do it.
That's a different movie.
That's a different movie. What are you waiting for? Just do it.
Oh no, that's no. This is the one where he hits the half-court basketball shot with Will Ferrell.
You're the only person
like coach.
You're the only person that remembers that movie.
Yeah. So
that's Semi-Pro. You never saw that one? There's one great scene in it with did you just call me a jive turkey? Do you remember that, Larry?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I actually thoroughly enjoy that movie. I do.
All right. Well, that's Larry's last word on a Will Ferrell movie nobody's ever seen. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later. See ya.